Yeah, if you would, please put your phones on silent, vibrate, whatever.
In the car.
You must drive a Chevy then.
Thank you, Todd.
One more thing, and when you talk, be sure you're in the microphone, please.
All right, we're gonna begin. I'm gonna call the 2025, August 20th budget hearings to order here. We'll start this morning with the pledge led by Andrew and a prayer followed by Gerald. So if everyone would please stand. Raise the flag.
Yes.
Andrew.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let us pray. Our most kind and gracious Father in heaven, we're just thankful now for this portion of health, this mindset that allows us to be here this morning to discuss in the most efficient way we know how, as being a man and understanding his limitations. We pray, Father, that you will look down upon us and tender mercy and be with us as we propose to direct next year's budget, be with the department heads that they make good decisions in presenting what they presented to us. We're mindful, Father, of the fact that we're just mere men and we can make mistakes and we fall. We hope, Father, that if our decisions were not proper, you can somehow straighten them out. We ask that you be with all that are present. Give them a mindset that we're here only to do that which is right and good in the sight of the Washington County people. This is our prayer in Christ's holy name. Amen.
Amen. We'll call the commissioners to order.
Washington County Commissioner, meeting to order.
Okay. We're just missing one this morning, Preston, who's back in the hospital, so just real quick, if everyone would keep Preston in your thoughts and prayers as he battles his illness, so gonna miss him here today, but hopefully he'll get better and get back with us. All right, we'll get rolling. We're gonna try to keep this thing on task and move through this pretty quick. So first up, we'll start with Cume Bridge, local road and street. Rick, you're back up at the podium. You've been up there a lot here in the last 24 hours. You like it, don't you? Well, at least you're honest.
Usually I just scroll through the numbers here, but I've thought about it for the last few days, and I am the only representation the guys at the highway department have, whether that's good or bad, so I'd like to take just a couple moments here, won't be long, and kind of go over some things. My number one concern is employee retention. February 7th, 2022, Indiana passed IC 9-24-6.1. That states you must attend truck driving school before acquiring your CDL. The average cost of that schooling is $5,000. Now, if you'll humor me, with any of you up there, please raise your hand if you have a valid CDL. All right, that's just something to think about. If for some reason you decided you wanted a job at the highway department, the first thing you have to do is spend $5,000 and try to get your license. No guarantee you'll pass. That leads to a much smaller hiring pool. Therefore, we need to put extra effort in retaining the employees we have. In an attempt to do so, in my budget, I put in for a 5% raise. At the time that was turned in, I had no way of knowing insurance would go up, so I would like to request to change that to 6%. As you know, the highway department primarily operates off MVH funds, which sits as part of other departments. This increase requires no outside funding, creates no financial hardship, and is sustainable. I've always felt like bringing up other departments was kind of like the kiss of death, because everyone gets defensive, and honestly, what they do is none of my business. What I will say, I understand all departments may not be able to afford raises, but I'm not over them, I'm over this one. So all I ask is you let me run my department and my budget as I see fit. All right, now we can roll through the numbers.
10-4.
All right, Hume Bridge. Starting with coal, steel prices amazingly actually went down a little bit, so we dropped that from 70 down to 60. Scrolling down through there, maintenance repairs stayed the same. The bridge inspection, you'll see a major jump there. The state mandated a 30% increase. That is on the requirements of the inspectors. We have a 4-year bridge inspection cycle, so they have to do a more stringent inspection. The state has added things to them. And along with that, you can expect that to trickle down to us on work. There will be more signs, more guardrail. I don't know what all it's going to be yet, but for it to be that big of a jump, it's going to trickle down to be something, I'd say, what, we have $30,000 in additional signs a couple years ago?
Yeah.
It'll be at least that.
Okay.
Small structures stayed at 40. Bridge 61, that's Beta Road, the estimate's 500,000. I've budgeted us at 300. I'll wait and see on the winter if it goes. If we have a bad winter, I may do a little appropriation out of the bridge fund to cover that. If we have a good winter, I'll have enough funds to add to that without adding any more. One thing I want to note, if you look at our fund, at the end of 25, we should have around $1.9 million in the fund. Now, I don't want everybody to get all warm and fuzzy and think, my gosh, look at all that money, because on our bridge inspection replacement list, I have 2 bridges coming up that are nearly $1 million apiece. They'll be over 800,000. So with just a couple phone calls, that 1.9 that looks impressive will be back to 0.
Gotcha.
All right, moving on to local road and street, we're good. Simplified it, the 150, we'll skip over the 350, it's dropped down from 5. Our revenue in that maintained roughly the same, 530, 545, but we're bringing in roughly 550 this year, I budgeted 5. The 150 you see for fuel, State Board of Accounts, we are allowed to budget fuel out of MVH restricted 1173, but it's getting to where the hoops you have to jump through to do so, just the juice isn't worth the squeeze, so we've kind of give up on that a little bit, and putting the fuel out of local road and street where we just don't have to do as much paperwork to keep track of.
Gotcha.
Any questions up to there? All right. Moving on to 1173. The increase there, that shows the 5%. Going down group health, that's pretty self-explanatory. Where the fuel, that's where you can see the fuel went from in 1173. Just explain that. 120, 20, 518. The road work, that went down to compensate for the 1.5 million community crossings. We raised our match. Well, they lowered it back to $1 million, so we've been fine leaving it where it was. No need for an adjustment there. Once we meet the grant money, the 334, I'll just use that out of that line to pay with, so we really don't have to fool with it. It doesn't make a difference to me which line it's in.
Or can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
On that one, on the stone, 2110, on the stone of business, you went from 150 to 707.
Hang on. Which page are you on?
In between 2 and 3.
2 and 3, 2.5.
2A.
How about page number? Are you in restricted or what are we looking at?
You're looking at
You're
the,
looking at what's been spent,
Say it again.
correct?
you're looking at the page on the what's been spent.
Expenditure.
Expended balance, that's, I got you, I'm sorry.
That's what's been spent to this point. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. You're fine.
Let's see. Restricted, where were we at? Road sign stayed the same, stone stayed the same. Explained the 400 and 500, we just kind of flip-flopped there, but since the max went down, that'll even out, no issue there. Moving on to 1176. Clerk, if that's a position, I would like to make a salary adjustment. There's been a significant increase in workload over the last, I don't know, 5, 6, 10 years. Community crossings, I can't really explain how much paperwork and record keeping is involved with that, as well as we have a new payroll system where that puts a lot of additional work on her to enter that into the system. Well, now we have a new claim system, but that is an online system. Now she has to enter the claims online, so that's just adding more workload to her. And rather than add an employee and have benefits on another employee, it is much cheaper just to compensate her slightly for that. So I think that increase, and the number there is with the 5% number we went over. And then moving down, longevity went down. We have had some people leave and hiring new hires, which obviously lowers your longevity. Moving down, everything stayed the same. Operator driver, you'll see that drop. That really is kind of deceiving because that number didn't change that much. Between that and 1173, those numbers will fluctuate because we have to maintain a 50-50 balance. So that's just sort of a juggling act which line that comes out of. The other one went up, this one went down, they roughly balance out. Holiday, we had to do an appropriation last year for overtime, so this year we did raise that line in hopes we wouldn't have to do that. Assistant supervisor, that number went up because we took a mechanic and made him the bridge foreman, and so there's the same amount of employees, but one more is coming out of that line. Everything else stayed the same. You'll see down at the mechanic, foreman, diesel mechanic, that went down, like I just explained, that went to a different position. Her, about the same. Everything else stayed similar. Not much to explain there. If anybody has any questions, I'm glad to go over any particular line.
Did you just have a standard percentage that you built into the wages? Did you have?
I had 5%, but that was before I realized the insurance went up.
Yes.
So I would like to make that to 6%. Like I said, I'll cover that internally. I'm not asking for any additional money.
Mm-hmm.
We'll take care of it.
All right. My math is not good. I was thinking maybe some of them was more than
No,
5%.
the percentage is straight across.
Yes.
Except for the clerk position, which I would like a salary adjustment. The number there shows the 5%, and I would want it to be the 6% as well.
All right, thank you.
Just the revenue department across the board.
Anybody have any questions for Rick on any of the items we discussed? So that supervisor, all that is where you moved that,
Yeah.
added one employee into that, so.
One left the mechanics line and went to that
Right.
line. Yeah.
It looks like an increase there when you see it, but it's just because he balanced out the other line.
And people moving positions there. We had a few spots that were kind of out of whack. We were drawn from the wrong line, so we just thought to clean them all up at once and get everything.
Right.
Goes.
Gotcha. All right, anybody else got any questions for Rick?
I just have a comment. Rick,
Sure.
I don't need anything today. I hope I don't need anything tomorrow, but I just want to say,
It's early in the day, watch what you say.
this gentleman knows his numbers. He knows what he's doing. He's been around the block, and we're blessed to have him because he watches things real close, and we appreciate it. Thank you.
Yep.
And I know you all have a long week ahead, and I'm rooting for you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's all I got. You're done with me.
I think so, if nobody else has any questions.
Appreciate it.
Thanks,
You all
Rick.
have a good day.
You too, bud. All right. We'll move through. So, we have the park scheduled for 9:30, so we got a little time here. If anybody wants to make any comments over the ones that Rick just went over through the Cume Bridge, local road and street, MVH. And I assume John's coming in from the park.
I just sent him a text to see.
Yeah.
Yes, if Kyra don't mind, I guess she could jump. Or if you all don't mind.
Yeah, if nobody has any comments or questions on what Mr. Wools just went over, then we can jump over to page 7 if Kyra's prepared to move on until John gets here. So if you would, go to page 7. We'll let Kyra run through the auditor budget here real quick.
Really, none of mine has changed. I did request a 7% increase, but as you all know with Senate Bill 1, we don't know what's happening, so I really don't even want to talk about salaries because it's gonna be what it is, and I know we've got a lot of things we're really gonna have to look at, so anything is better than nothing, so anything that we can get would be appreciated. I know they would, just because of the increase in insurance, and so, but all of mine has stayed the same again this year, so.
Pretty much the same except for what you added there at 7%.
Yeah.
Well, once again, like we did last year, you know, we asked most of the department heads to try to toe the line as best they can, you know, so that we are in a situation where we can do something for our employees. But like Kyra mentioned, we've got to be concerned. I'm not so much concerned with the 26 here as I am what's going to happen in 27 and with the unknowns. As she mentioned, we need to keep that in mind. But any questions for Kyra on her budget? None?
I just got a message from John Burlington. He's not gonna be able to make it. So if you just wanna look at his budget, it's the same budget he submitted last year.
Yeah, his is pretty
He runs on
solid.
top receipts. The only thing that is not paid from his budget is his salary, which is under the commissioner's budget.
Correct. Yeah, so if you flip through his pretty quickly, going back to page 6, you know, there's not any increases there in any of those lines. If you look all the way to the bottom of page 6, no change from last year, no change from 2024, no change from 2023. So he has stayed the course, which John typically does. He's another guy that does a fantastic job down there. We all know from the past that, you know, things weren't always the greatest at the park, but since John's took that over, you know, I'll have to say budget-wise, and he gets a lot done without increasing his budget every year, so kudos to John. I know he's not here to hear that, but we've had that conversation several times, and you know, if you haven't been to the park in a while, he continues to do things to make improvements, and I think he does an excellent job down there. Anybody have any questions on?
Are these expenditure reports ran
Yes,
through
right
May?
behind,
Are they ran through May or June?
towards the end of June 30th would have been the cutoff.
Yeah, so you can see on that page behind page 6 there, And on every budget, there's an expenditure report, so you can see where they currently stand, what they've spent, and what's been appropriated through, last year's budget. So you can see he's in pretty good shape there as well. Any other questions on the park budget? Questions or comments on anything that we went over to this point? If there's none, then we're through the park, through the auditor. Surveyor would be next, not scheduled till 9:50. It's 9:20.
Just tell her to come on up.
Yeah. You got anything?
Well, the only problem, I mean, they're timed out,
Right,
and being as it's an agenda item, if somebody was to come in from the public or with the live stream, I mean, I'm okay with going a little bit ahead, but
we need to wait.
I think we kind of need to try to keep.
Okay, we'll try to stay to that schedule, which we've made it pretty tight, and as long as we're running ahead or pretty close to schedule, we should be fine. So with that being said, it's 9:20. If anyone needs a morning break, we can take a quick
Take 10 minutes.
10-minute break and come back in at 9:30. If everybody's good with that. Once again, I'll remind you that the tape stays live, so anything you say or do can be held against you in a court of law.
And it will.
So we will convene and then come back in at 9:30. So give it a 10-minute break here. Usually at this time I have to go pee, but I haven't had the urge. Once I break the seal, look out. Then it's over. Yeah.
We have the budget up online. I don't know what the link is. And I wanna go ahead and put the link on, the Facebook page, so that people, because the budget, the proposed budget, you put it up online, right? Okay, I can't find the link. Yeah, because I didn't pay any attention to what was happening in the meeting. Yeah, so if you just send me the link to that thing, and I'll put it up on. That's fine.
No, I agree with you. I'd kind of forgot about that, but with the live stream stuff, we need to.
Shove my shit out of the way.
Well, I think I accidentally did.
Yeah, I agree.
I think so.
Congress, go and get that.
Yeah, I'm on PTO the rest of the week. I'm setting on like, I'm setting on like 200 something hours. I'm still accumulating.
Your crops are looking.
Good, we got a little rain last night, couple
Yeah, did
tens.
you get, it
But not a lot.
poured here in town.
Yeah, we
I
didn't
bet I
get
got a
that.
half inch in
Yeah.
the house there. Yeah, it come out over there about dark, well, before dark.
I was doing the rain dance, but it didn't help.
Yeah, well, it was banging back in there. We were actually sitting outside on the back deck there. Granddad said, I think it's gonna come. We no more got in the house, boy, it opened up and it poured. About a half hour.
I'm doing great.
Kind of ran through and it was done.
Oh,
And then I know some of the other parts of the county said they didn't get that much either.
it's better than nothing. But,
Yeah.
and it's gonna cool off, that's gonna help.
Right, that's gonna help. Yeah. Looks like it's gonna cool off and stay cool.
Mm-hmm,
Sure helps with football.
mm-hmm, yeah.
Cause you know, them first couple games usually sometimes can be brutal.
Right.
I mean, brutal.
Yeah.
That always scares me with the kids, cause, you know, I don't want somebody, you know, having a heat stroke or something. Yeah.
No.
Let's see, West Washington.
Two-year signs.
Oh, okay,
I'm gonna bring them tomorrow.
that'd be fine.
I got 2 or 3 of your signs. I'm gonna bring them.
What's that?
They still open with Pekin.
Yes.
Is
And then,
it out, is it out
it's at
there this
Pekin,
year?
yes.
It's at Pekin.
it's at Pekin.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Clarksville dropped us, and, yeah, and, so we picked up Tell City for week 2.
Oh, well, that's probably a good pickup.
Mhm.
They're usually pretty
Yeah,
competitive.
it'd be a challenge.
Right.
And they're 3A in there, so,
They bumped to 3.
I think so.
They may have. Knew they were in 2. It's funny how all that stuff kind of fluctuates. Yeah. So, they're struggling, I guess.
Oh, well.
From what I've been told. Looks like coach got sick and then
Just
they named,
taking it all in.
the interim.
Nothing I need to talk about yet.
Lost a bunch. I mean, they were number 30-something kids.
Yeah.
But now he was able, he went
Got some
back-
of them back, didn't he?
Yeah, he got like 8 or 9 back, so I think they're up close to 40, but still, I mean, it's tough when you got JV too, you know?
Mm.
'Cause I don't know how many of them young kids is gonna have to pull up and play, but he called me and wanted me to help, and I'm like, dude, I'm just kinda enjoying not having to, you know, I can pick and choose if I wanna go watch Washington, I'll go watch them, if I wanna go over here, or wherever, I just kinda enjoy doing that. And
Yeah,
so many years of dealing with it, I was just tired of.
yeah, twin kids and
Yeah,
broadcasting
I mean, it's
and
just
everything
kinda
else.
nice to have that option,
Yeah,
you know? Yeah, so, how's your mama doing?
I spent the night there last night, put it that way.
Oh, did you?
Yes, she was taking the trash out last night, she fell.
You know, there a couple of years ago when she fell over the school ball game, and I texted you or whatever, and said, cause I was worried about her, cause, you know, she just didn't seem herself, you know, and when she fell pretty hard, I was real concerned with her, but, you know, that's the thing, get over it, hell, my balance, my fault anymore.
Oh, yeah, but she just doesn't do that. I try to tell her, just go for a little walk every day.
Well, usually, you know, she's been so active.
Oh, I know, but that'll do with James where she
Yeah,
was just
kinda at that
housebound
point.
and she just lost so much muscle.
Yeah, yeah. How old is your mom?
Yeah. She was 77 or 78. I'm not sure which,
I
but
thought she was right now.
she's right in there. Yeah,
That's your mom?
that's what we're talking about, yeah.
Yeah.
But she was fine. I went and got her breakfast this morning.
Table.
Hmm.
When you get this, when you get this, every night.
Well,
Every day's different.
yeah. But you gotta keep going.
Oh, yeah, yeah, you're right.
You have to push it.
Right.
Keep
Just like you do.
moving.
You keep going. Exactly.
Hey,
I think exactly.
if you don't move, yeah, if you sit down, yeah, look at Jack. I mean,
Yeah.
as long as you keep moving.
He was as old as he was.
Oh, no, cause he didn't look old either. I mean, he really didn't.
The last 30 years, he looks
Oh,
the
yeah,
same.
he looks the same. Yeah, never changed. But Jack was always on the move.
Yeah.
Always doing something.
Was that your silo that Michael Grindle took down, posted on Facebook? Something about.
Oh, the silo? Yeah, they're dad's, yes.
He's freaking nuts.
Well, that's part of the reason we acquired
Got
him.
him. He used to work for me, man. He was wild.
Oh, yeah. But he'll work harder as anybody if you can just get him there.
Yeah.
Yeah, without a problem.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You can't believe how much he thanked us for letting him do that.
He probably enjoyed
Oh, he
it.
did. I wanted to do that.
We
my whole
dropped it
life.
right on
We
the
dropped
spot.
it right
didn't
Oh,
we?
there.
yeah. Yeah. Fell right down between the
Yeah.
guardrail and the barn.
Yeah, when I first watched that video, I thought, that's gonna be gonna fall over. He's gonna smash a bunch of
Well,
stuff.
see, the neighbors had one blow over and it fell in their barn. And I got 2 barns and the guardrail right there. I'm like, well, at least try and control this
Try to
thing.
keep it,
Yeah.
So was that your grandma and grandpa's old place?
Yes, my dad lives there
Okay,
now.
I
Yeah.
used to go over there for church stuff all the
Right.
time. Yeah, rain and man.
Yep. Yep. That was it. It looks a lot different.
He did that. Michael took down a bunch of walls and stuff, so he should have known how to place stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We only cut 2 of the bands, is all we cut, and then started knocking out.
All right, it's 9:30. We will keep it rolling here. Would you like to come forward? Emily is here from the surveyor's office, so we'll let her run through her budget here and we'll,
My budget has remained the same, except for raises for everyone in the office. So,
how much percentage did you figure?
well, we're asking for 10%. I think that my people do a very good job. Not everybody can read the deeds like they're supposed to and everything, and they work hard for our county and they deserve 10% or more, honestly, but we'll take what we can get.
So that was really the only increase in your budget was the
Yeah.
10% you figured for your employees. All right. Anyone?
Is your printer up to date?
Yep, I bought a brand new one. Me and the recorder's office bought a new one a couple years ago. It's the newest one they've made.
And don't you have a plotter or something?
Yeah, it's like up to 36 inches across.
When did we buy that?
In 23, wasn't it?
3 or 4 years
I would
ago?
say 3 or 4 years ago. I want to say COVID time, but I think about, so we had to wait on it to come in.
Yeah,
So
I
we ordered
remember
it
it.
and we had to wait on it. Yeah.
22 or 23
Yeah.
probably. Any questions for Emily on any of her budget there? Like she said, the only thing she put in was a 10% increase for her employees.
I see one line that says contract. Can you explain that just a little bit? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm not a licensed surveyor, so if the county needs survey work done, we have to contract that out to a licensed surveyor.
Okay.
The commissioners of council, whoever decides that that job needs done, that's the line that comes out.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else have any questions for Emily? None? That means you've done a good job. Thank you, Emily.
I like to hear that.
We appreciate you. Thank you.
I appreciate you guys. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Well, we'll stay ahead. Maggie is here from the health department. If you wanna come on up, we'll stay ahead of schedule. Health department budget is located on page 9 and 10. So if you wanna get there in your books, Maggie, you wanna go over your budget?
With the health department budget, I only increased, well, payroll, we did ask for a 5% raise. I know, raises are hard, and that's where I've kind of seen you guys max out at, so I did ask for 5. And then longevity, I did increase, I believe we were close last year in our line, I can't recall how much, but I increased it by $500, just because employees stay longer and longer, does add up. So total for raises, was $14,381 for everybody in our office. But, and with our longevity increasing by 500, so I think it was $14,881 I'm asking more for next year compared to this year. And in the previous years, I've been right at it or under budget.
Right.
Kind of funding.
Could you move closer to the microphone? It's hard to hear, it really is hard. Yeah.
Is that better?
Yeah, if it turns red, it's
Okay.
in theory picking something up.
Okay, so that goes through 9 and 10, no real changes there in any of the line items except for the 5% increase that Maggie just explained for her employees. See anything there? So, anybody have any questions for Maggie on her, any of the line items or her budget as a whole? She just explained that it went up about 14.8 with the longevity increase.
You don't see any significant changes that might be coming down the pike for your particular job?
As far as health department
Yeah.
funding, no. As far as HFI, yes, and that's the next one we discussed.
Any questions on just the health department budget, 9 and 10? All right, if there's not any questions there, then we'll move on to page 11.
So with health person Indiana funding from money we get from state, this is our second year we're in it. Next year will be our third. Our funding for this year was $614,846. Our funding did get cut drastic for next year, so we're only receiving $164,367, which cut us down to $450,000 less for next year. Really, the only thing we're asking, again, I mean, the lines changed because of our funding being cut drastic, but we did ask for a raise for one employee out of that. We have a part-time employee, and there's enough money in her line item to also give her a raise, but we didn't increase her overall total for the year. Besides PERV insurance, I can tell you a little bit what we are budgeting to do next year with that funding. We buy flu vaccines and give out free flu shots, head lice shampoo free for the public. We do a shark disposal pickup, so if you have sharks that need to be disposed of, we'll dispose of them for free, and then we'll give you a free container as well. We do prenatal vitamins, pregnancy tests. We give out pack and plays and car seats, and in October, we soon shall have a certified car seat technician in our office, so we can check car seats for the public, and also give out some free car seats. We do albuterol for the schools, EpiPens, we do AEDs. We gave out 6 AEDs to all 3 schools this year in total. We've done stop for bleed kits, and we're gonna do that again next year, but all 3 schools got that this year. We give out so many hygiene kits to the schools and just to the public for free. We did a vape disposal, and again, next year, we're doing vape disposal pins. So the local 3 schools can collect vapes, sadly, from kids that are vaping, and the health department will dispose of them for free. Just advertisements we'll have, maintenance, and then, again, next year, we're just budgeting for vector control spray, which we used to pull that out of county funds, now we're pulling out of state funding. Like I said, our funding did get cut very drastic for next year, so we're not able to do as much as we did this year.
Right.
And I mean, this year we were able to buy diapers and wipes and feminine hygiene products to give out, and we did weather alert radios for the public, and like I said, stop the bleed and AEDs for our community.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things there that were, you know, available to the public that, you know, definitely a great help, the AEDs in the schools.
Yeah, we've helped the schools out quite a bit in different lines.
Right, I knew
Given them.
from talking to some of the school administrators that there was a lot of things that the health department was able to help them with, and they,
Just as of last week, we gave the schools, there's one school that's still working on it, but we gave 8 stop the bleed kits per school. So high school got 8, middle school got 8, and elementary got 8. And that was a lot of money
right.
we gave to them for those. And then the AEDs cost a lot of stuff that we've helped them out with.
Okay, any questions for Maggie on the local public health services on that grant money? Keep in mind that, as Maggie mentioned, that is a grant, and you can see through that budget that the grant money went down significantly this year and for 26, and that'll be the last year of that grant, correct? No, you will have it in
No,
27.
they go before legislation every 2 years.
Okay,
So
so
this was a
it'll-
legislation year, so this money, we have been told, next year this is what we get, and then for 2027, we'll get the same, but in 2027, they'll go back for legislation, and it may get cut again, or we may get more, you never know.
Okay,
But all the counties got cut,
okay,
yeah, and, we actually had to let an employee go because of that funding.
right,
Our payroll alone costs more than what we're getting for next year. And, I mean, that was just with insurance, payroll, longevity. So sadly, we didn't have to take another job. And we had to provide services too. That was part of this money, so we couldn't just have
Gotcha.
payroll.
right. Okay. Any questions for Maggie on the local public health budget?
With these cuts, where will you make up the difference? Your budget's gonna be cut $450-some thousand for next year, so how will you make that up?
You mean as just far as providing services to the community?
Yeah.
Sadly, the service just got cut. So, I mentioned we did weather alert radios, we just will not have that anymore. Unless I put in a carryover request to the state and then present it to you guys as well, to say we wanna pull so much out of our funding to provide X service that we wanna do for our community, which we do have quite a bit left over. I foresee we have quite a bit left over at the end of this year that we haven't spent, and then we had some left over from last year. So there's potential we can always ask for a request to provide more services.
Okay.
But at the same time, if the funding keeps getting cut, you wanna keep like paying your payroll and doing a little bit, you don't wanna ask all your carryover.
Because that will eventually bleed out.
Yes, as far as like what we had in 2022, it was called a legacy, well, it would be in 23, it was called a legacy, so it's the trust and the maintenance, and we only got 51,000. This is a lot more, even though we're getting cut, we're still getting a lot more than what we did in the legacy.
Okay.
How long is your carryover? How long?
It'll just keep going and going and going, so.
For years and years down the
Yeah,
road?
we can
Oh, cool.
just, that's the way I understand it, like, and that's the way the trust and maintenance was, if at the end of this year, whatever we don't spend, it just goes back back in our fund, it'll sit there until we ask for a carryover, and then we just spend it. I'm sure they're gonna eventually say, hey, you got a surplus you need to spend down, but
Any other questions for Maddie on either of her budgets there, the health budget 1159 or the 1161 public health grant?
Just keep up the good work. You
Yep.
impressed me to the point where you know what you're talking about, and I appreciate that very much.
oh, thank you. I try to stay on top of that, because numbers are a big thing, so. Anything else?
All right.
Thank you.
No one has anything else? Thank you, Maggie.
Thank you.
Quite a cut.
Yeah, they're getting. Yeah, it's a big cut.
600,000 budget, get 450,000 cut.
Right. But if you look at the expenditures, they haven't.
She handled it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she covered herself pretty well.
Good. But you know, as I recall, in that grant, in the prior years when that grant was available, we kind of warned them that this thing was gonna happen, so I think she was, or maybe was aware of what was gonna happen.
Yeah, kind of a feast or famine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think if you look on that page behind page 12, you can see what they've spent. And there's still a pretty good little nest egg there in the unexpended balance, still almost 450,000, or right at 450,000. So as she mentioned, that will go back in and then carry over. So if she needs it, she can use it. She just has to request that from the state.
Where is this from?
That is from the coroner. I never.
Who?
The coroner.
Oh,
Got the plan commission scheduled next, but not until 10:20, so I don't know. We'll try to stay as close to that as we can, due to the fact that we advertised it that way.
we didn't get it done last night.
Does anybody have any questions on any of the handouts you've received, your miscellaneous information? Everybody should have got a copy of split shares for 2026. Growth quotient.
There was something that I read that said something about a 4% growth quotient. Can you explain that to me?
It's that wonderful formula that the state has that says you can grow your tax levy by 4%.
How has it been in the past?
Yeah, I think one year it was 3, I think one year it was 2.
Yeah, I remember that.
I think it's even been 5 one year.
We're happy with the 4.
Yeah.
Some years it's like Michelle said, it's been 3.5.
All right. Looks like Travis has made his way up here, so he's early.
We early?
Yeah, but that's fine. We're running ahead of schedule, so
Okay.
we tried to keep as much on schedule as possible just due to the live stream. But we've kind of jumped ahead here as people came in, so I guess if you want to go ahead and come up front, we'll head right into your plan commission and building commission budget.
Okay.
That will be on page 13, the plan commission budget. Whenever you're ready, sir.
Okay. Are you on the plan, did you say you're on the plan commission?
Yes, we're on the
Okay.
plan commission budget first, on page 13 in your books, council and commissioners.
Now, this will be just for both of our budgets too, for plan commission and building department. Just starting off, we asked for 5% raise, for myself and for Courtney. Everything else is just about pretty much the same, except general expenses on that, so there's not a lot to that budget, but
So basically, that's the only changes really in your budget at all.
right. Yeah, there's not very many line items to that one.
What is the reason on, let's see, do we have a number? The, between 13 and 14. Oh, I see.
That's the
Unexpended.
expenditures.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Forget.
I did notice a little increase there on the building commission, budget there in your, legal services. Can you, I understand, I know that's probably just due to more legal, you know, hiring that you're having to do.
On the building
On the building commission, I moved
Okay.
over, I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah, that's same thing we talked to, or talked about before, Bubba, it's an increase, but it is back to some of the original budget numbers we had before.
Right.
And then, it was cut, but we do have an increase though. Hopefully that money will be put back, but we do have to have we're gonna have a little bit of an increase with it.
Right.
Because it's more legal services, it's your consulting, it's your other engineers, it's, there's other miscellaneous.
Like everything else,
Yeah.
that has increased, I'm sure.
Yeah, and we've held off as long as we could, for that line item, because basically we were sharing it with the county attorney.
Right,
It's just too much. I mean, it's too much workload.
yeah,
Back in probably 2010 is when we needed honestly, when we needed a separation and bring, get something else in the line item.
right. Well, I just wanted to clarify that because for some of the newer people that are on the council now might not understand that, because it had jumped, I think, back in, if you look there on page 14, in 21, we allocated 25,000, same in 22, same in 23, and 24. We did cut that a little bit last year because we hadn't had to dip into it, but it was because a lot of that was shared with the county attorney at the time. So I just wanted clarification so the council understood that that's something that, with the legality and the hiring of maybe outside counsel for that, that could increase, so.
Now also the 12,000 that's remaining in there that you see, the bills have just not reached our office yet.
They have came in.
Yeah, we're, what I'm hearing, it's probably zeroed out right now. So
Gotcha.
We just don't have enough money in it, that's just all there is to it.
Well, I knew that was a concern when we talked about it a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Anyone have any questions for Travis on his budget, page 13 over 14?
No, you just answered the question I had in
Yeah.
reference to the balance that was still there, so.
Yeah.
Let me think about that. I would like to add something here. I would encourage all of you to stop in on occasion if you have a few extra minutes and be prepared to have it turn into 15 or 20, because what's going on with the building commissioner's office, it's probably without a doubt one of the most frustrating departments when it comes to dealing with these issues than any other department I've seen. And I'll tell you why, because we have several people out here in the community that just not only don't want to follow the rules, don't want to get a permit, and they will sometimes even tell you, or they will argue with you, why, they want to know why do I have to get a permit? Why do I have to do this? Why do I have to do that? And this man and this lady sitting here have to listen to this every single day. And we have tried over the years, and Travis tries to be so patient and understanding and trying to help these people and try to educate them. But some of them, a very small percentage, just don't want to be educated. They don't want to hear what you have to say. They're going to go ahead and do what they want anyway, and they will tell him that. And it's really gotten out of hand the last 5 or 10 years, and it's not getting any better. This is the reason for an attorney. Unfortunately, I suppose we're going to have to turn into counselors, and we're going to have to give these people guidance and not to be mean-spirited, but some of these people, I'm sorry, are just being knotheads and they don't care. They're just being contrary. And we're left with trying to fix things. We're left, he is left, and she is left with trying to keep people in this county safe. That's his main goal. And it's very frustrating, and I encourage you all to take the time so you know what they're going through. And, you know, I'm not saying throwing money at this is the answer, but in this case, you know, when you get into these situations, the only way to resolve it is with an attorney, and I'm sorry, that's just the world we live in today. And I want to thank them for their patience. And here's the thing, when Travis has gone out doing these inspections and fighting all this, Courtney is in there by herself, and she has to listen to all this, and it gets crazy in there. I'm telling you, it gets crazy. And they have a tough job, and they do a good job of what they do. Thank you.
Yeah, I can't echo that enough, because it's usually not a pleasant conversation when somebody comes in there. And, you know, Courtney also took on the,
Yeah, there's a dual role there.
the 911 addressing, and I know that was a big role and more work for her, and she's done a fantastic job in that. So, yeah, can't thank you guys enough for what you do. I know it's not pleasant. I've been in there a few times myself and heard some of the grumbling, so, yeah.
I would like to thank them too, also does everything in their power to keep from having to use legal
Yes.
services too. So me and Travis have worked together on a couple of things to eliminate that. So lady crying, cussing you out and crying, yeah, it's neat.
Yeah, it's like what Todd and Tony said, it's not all just legal service, it's trying to help the public out and getting these structures legal also, and working with them to, you know, so we can get these things permitted. It's not just legal enforcement, it's not that, it's just, you know, with this tiny house movement, you know, half our structures come in are some type of mold, not just stick built. And that's something we've not had here in the county, that is, I guess the volume of it is, that it is today. So it's just something different that, you know, we're gonna have to tackle.
Yeah, learn to deal with it.
Yeah. It's just, and everybody's dealing with it. It's just it's a different housing league, so, which is great. There's a lot of good products out there.
Rhonda, did you have a question? I normally, and during budget, don't take the comments, but as long as it's constructive and,
I mean, you know, the public has a right to be here when this is being heard.
I agree.
So, since I'm here already, I want to express, you know, the same kind of frustration that Todd has, in that my husband and I, have presented before the commissioner a couple times, before the planning commission board, that having an illegal board, like they have over the years, like the last 9 years, makes it so that, for one, we don't have legal hearings, and we lose in court.
well, this doesn't fit what we're talking about right now, and I understand what you're
You're
saying.
spending money on an illegal board, it is a waste of budget money. Until they get it legal, they aren't functioning as a planning commission.
Well, but that's not something we're gonna discuss today during our budget proceedings, so that will be a discussion for a later time,
All right?
okay? Thank you.
No, it's already been resolved.
No, it has not. It has not.
I'll tell you what,
Lori Gilstrap is a Republican.
Hey, we need to, seriously, due to time constraints and trying to get through the budget, we'll deal with that at a later time. Right now, we're on budget, that's what we're gonna stay on. So, into that. Any other questions about the plan commission or building commission budget? If not,
Keep up the good work.
thank you guys. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Keep up the good
appreciate
work.
you all. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, we're way ahead of schedule. You want a break or?
I think at this point, you're gonna have to wait.
Yeah, we need to.
Till 11.
Yeah, we need to stay with that schedule because we advertise that way. You know, sometimes we get ahead, sometimes we're behind. Right now, we're in the ahead lane, so things have been moving pretty smooth, and I appreciate that. But we will take a break and try to stay as close to that as we can. So it is 10:04. We'll have everybody back in here at 10:50. Say 10:50, and then we can go back to head into the recorder at that time. So I know we're ahead of schedule, ladies.
Thank you, Nancy.
I appreciate you coming up, but we're, due to the fact that we're live streaming, we want to keep that schedule as close as possible, and we're way ahead right now. So we'll come back at 10:50 if that's okay.
That's fine.
Okay, thank you guys for coming early, though. I know in years past, we've got ahead, but
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to do.
Be here just in case.
Yes, and I appreciate that. Okay, thank you. We will come back at 10:50.
Is she getting that one? On the plan, she's like- Okay, okay. And then that one too. Okay. I think those are considered two different items, so I think that's as is. For, it would be,
Well, I mean, those two and then five, right?
yeah, I think so. Courtney gets the office manager position on the plan commission and office manager on
Yes,
the building
yes,
commission.
she's paid from
Right.
two
And
different
the 911 addressing.
pools, yes.
Yes.
911 addressing is her as well, which we kind of laid that on her, because, oh, she does a fantabulous job with that. You know, that all went down because when that was going on, it used to be done through the highway department, and then,
From my understanding too, you know, it was 3. And she agreed to that, it was
Good.
supposed to be.
it was supposed to be 5 in the beginning. We only had it at 3, and we were kind of shortchanging her there for a year or two, and then we got it fixed.
And that does create a lot.
And that's a lot of work. I mean, it's a lot of work for
I
her.
wouldn't do it for 5.
No, that was a bargain.
We'll
let me
take
tell
it.
you.
Oh, yeah, we only got
I
210.
should have looked at that.
crazy.
Yeah. Never complained about the rain.
No.
Yep. That's what you gotta look on some of these, like,
It's coming.
I know,
They're
it's been a long hot
different
summer.
line items appointing the same person, but they just have to put it in
It's been
different.
rough. Yeah. What's scary is I think we'll get used to it. I know. And that's gonna turn cold, it'll be freezing probably.
Yeah. Just get the flannel shirt.
Yeah.
Lows in the fifties, you'll start with one in the morning.
I tell you what, when it
telling
starts
you.
cooling off
For
really
Walmart.
fall,
Exactly.
fruit
Oh, yeah.
There you
Start
go.
out with that flannel shirt in the morning, shed it in the
Kevin
afternoon.
didn't come out and do
feel
this.
like the work goes.
That's a good day. Yeah, you can build fence in that kind of weather.
You could. Yeah.
I'm surprised we don't have more twins. And I say we had it. It's that time of year.
On the legal fees, is that what you're talking about? Expense?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That's because it hasn't come.
Sorry.
That's because the billing hasn't come in yet. You know,
Mm.
it's-
yeah, he did mention that.
It's definitely zeroed out.
Well, I figured he was. He always tied shit.
He does.
Yeah.
He does a really good job.
We might be on pause, y'all. We know we're stopped, so.
You can scream and yell all you
But I haven't stopped.
Oh, okay.
I haven't stopped. So don't talk about underwear or anything similar to that nature.
We don't put our hand over yours, Mike.
I know you do.
Yeah, we got paper.
Lord help us.
You still love me, though, don't you?
Not today. I don't love anybody today.
What? She doesn't love anybody today.
Not even Phil?
Rhonda said she doesn't love anybody today. That's okay.
Don't even get that.
My stuff in your way.
No, I dropped the grate. I said, Tony will get that.
What is it?
You will listen to your own pal. He's the guy that raises the interest rates for the nation.
Yeah, Fed chairman?
Fed chairman, I couldn't think of it.
Yeah.
What is his deal? He must hate Trump.
Oh, I think so. I think we're all being punished.
You know, we're being punished.
Yeah.
He's punishing this
Because
country.
there's absolutely no reason
Uh-uh.
that he should not be making this change.
That guy, yeah, that was amazing. He sure don't have my support.
Go to page 62. Maintenance and repair. That's where you're gonna get that at.
Okay. I just wondered.
That's what it's for, right?
Yep.
No, there's nothing I don't understand. He's got a bunch of that.
And then I'll ask her.
He's been using good long extension, working on it. He's gonna get hired if he puts it out.
Should.
Oh, yeah. Well, we're ramping up to where, after Labor Day, all that stuff goes on sale in preparation for the holidays. So, yeah, hold off a little bit.
Help them better, it'll be all right.
I'm guessing,
Gotta be
I'm
done.
not used, but I bet it's probably $500.
Okay.
Somebody stole it right out of
Yeah.
the front yard.
Yeah.
Good peeking. So, I'm gonna get another one.
Karen? Karen? How much you know about this SB?
SB1 for the House bill that we had yesterday. So from what I've read on it with the wheel tax thing, that it's more geared towards Indianapolis and Marion County, so I kinda have to wonder if some of these counties that have passed it haven't realized that yet. Because when you get into page 28 and 26 of it, it reads like there's a chance you may not get all of what you took in back, that it could go to fund the roads in the bigger cities.
What's it gonna do in this area?
I don't see it really affecting it much because we've got the other grant and then they're gonna do the grant in 27 that will basically replace Crossroads. But as far as this particular grant, we still have the two pools to fund from. I kinda see it like the state's wanting to drive everybody to pull from the same fund, but to me, if you pull from the same fund, you have a allotted amount of money, and the more people that go in that, the less you're gonna get, you know what I mean? But it's like they're almost pushing it, but they didn't really mandate anything, like it's not mandated in that bill at all.
There's any punishment.
Yeah, there's no punishment for not doing it, it's just misleading.
There,
It's
it
almost-
says there is incentives that you get for doing it, which is you could be eligible for larger
Yeah.
community crossings grant, but read between the fine lines. It says could be.
Could be, yeah. The thing that scares me with it is the fact that I almost feel like it's a trick to pay for the roads of Indianapolis.
That's what wheel tax was created for, was Marion County,
Yeah.
Indianapolis.
Cause when you go into that one page, like page 28 or 30, it goes into like, you'll get this percentage if you've implemented this process for checking your roads. If you don't implement this process, you don't get this percentage, and it's kinda scary, cause you're like, well, I've held out all this much, so where's the rest of my money going? So then when you read between the lines, you're like, it goes through the Indiana Department of Revenue, and they're giving it out to the roads. So you're divvying it up for every county, basically, mainly Marion County, but that's how it reads. It reads like it's gonna go through Indiana Department of Revenue, and they're the last group I want. I don't even like paying in my estimated tax payments every quarter, but I do it anyway, you know? But they're playing with it all year long, and it's like, oh, I'm kinda skeptical of that. So, I'm not a fan of it. Not really. I've read it twice. It's pretty boring to read, but it's
I think it's, what, 32 pages?
32 pages, yeah. But it reads to me like I feel like it's a trick for us to pay for their roads. That's how it.
Is it gonna help the interstates?
No, it doesn't even mention those. That's the thing.
So where are they gonna get the money for the interstates?
That's supposed to come from the federal money. Through these tariffs, that's the word I
Checking
got.
to see if World War III started.
So, yeah, I think it's supposed to come through those tariffs, but they're supposed to assign money out of those to roads, but how much, I don't know.
Is it gonna affect the schools?
Well, see, they talk about
Yeah, yeah.
schools in that one page on it, but it doesn't
It's
say
great to see
that
that.
it's going back to the school. Because see, if Indiana Department of Revenue takes in the money, 49% of their revenue goes to our school system
Well, it is.
and to
Well,
schools.
it's gonna get
So
worse.
I think that
But, I mean,
there's
we've
a
been through this
chance,
kind of thing
but
before.
there's no guarantee. It doesn't state what they're doing with it. It just states this is the percentage you're gonna get back, and this is the amount you get, and it doesn't doesn't say that 100% of what you collect goes right back to your county directly. That's the problem I have with it. I'm like, no, I don't wanna fund the roads up there in Indy because I don't drive those every day, you know? I'm more worried about mine. And if
Worried
there's-
about Washington County.
That's what I was wondering, but according to this, I don't know that much about it.
Yeah.
And I was reading that one on the LCAP report. But I never got all this.
I can text you the bill if you wanna read it. Cause it's boring, but it's there.
Go ahead.
But I have it.
Does it have, do you have a report?
It's 33 pages, so.
Can you send it to me?
Mm-hmm. I just texted it to you, so.
Can you? That's what happens. Correct?
And see, some of it looks like goes to qualified railroad expenditures.
The what?
Qualified railroad expenditures, I forgot, that's in there too. The railroad stuff. It's in there, it's on page 2, they talk about it on page 2, and they talk about it a little bit on page 3. But we don't have any of that,
No.
so why would we, why would we, yeah, it's, from somebody who's worked with those people in DC, it's like, yeah, I see what you're
It's
saying.
like, hey, look down here while I'm doing this.
Yeah, but yeah, the railroad thing, I was like,
So, do you have a report on LTAP, what this county would produce?
the LTAP? No, but you can get that on Gateway. You can get that on Gateway. You gotta dig for it.
Does it show what Washington County would contribute?
It's a hard decision, isn't it?
Well, you're talking if you were to implement one?
We don't need to eat it.
Shouldn't have one.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, you only-
Man, I can't get. Michelle's supposed to
LTAP?
help me, but she had.
What?
Oh, don't you blame it all on her?
Takes a passport. Before I get to.
This one? You're talking the one ran by Purdue, right?
LTAP, the report of Washington County, how much we would contribute. But then again, are you telling me that we contribute, that money would not stay in Washington County, it goes to the?
It goes
Percentage.
everywhere. A percentage of it
Yes.
goes everywhere else.
What's
That's
a
in there.
What's a percentage?
That depends on what we implement as a county as to how much we get back. So if we're doing this, like, one of the processes, they call it, I can never remember the acronym. It's way down here. It's the one we brought up yesterday with Rick, and we're doing that, but there's another one too.
Joe, where's Cole at now?
It's too slick for me.
Cole, last week he
Well,
was in
this
Minnesota
helps,
fishing.
cause this is
Oh, yeah?
extra.
But he's doing an internship
So,
at, up in Seymour, can't think of the name of the place. He's got,
At a bank or?
no, it's a
So
manufacturing.
what'd you put
Oh.
in?
Seems like it's got a funny name,
You
it's a
don't
big,
get
What'd you
it's a big
contribute
operation.
to?
I think it's transmissions.
What the
thing.
percentage
Oh,
that
yeah.
the county would receive?
But he's working an internship up there this summer. Matter of fact, he's probably about over now.
Yeah.
My understanding
He's
is.
got two more credits
this,
to finish
you have to-
his engineering
Okay.
I talked to
at
Tara Woolman yesterday.
Rose Holland.
Oh, okay.
Tara was telling me
He's
you
in his
have to
final
implement both
credits. I think he's got like he told me he had 6 weeks left or something like that up there.
Yeah.
and this,
Finish up what he wants to do.
Good.
What do you mean?
No, I just hadn't seen,
Yeah.
hadn't seen Aaron for a while and
Yeah.
hadn't
He's,
caught up.
Excise and,
He's gonna be okay, I think.
Oh, yeah.
He's,
And we'll,
working on some office
tax.
money.
both of them have to be implemented to be
Yeah.
eligible to make it.
Usually you get out of Rose Home, you're not gonna have any trouble finding.
No,
Yeah,
no.
they'll
I think they
hire
call him. I think they call him.
Oh, yeah.
Now it's $40.
Yeah, one of our neighbors
To
went
11,000.
to Rose Holman and graduated,
And
and
then-
he went to work for
And
Halliburton.
there's also, it's a
And he
different
worked there
minimum
about 5 or
for
6 years and
classification
came over. He's
vehicles, so
working for
anything over
a family company that
11,000
constructed
pounds
in
is
Logo, but
higher rate,
yeah, I
so.
think
yeah,
they
right
got those
here,
there's
on
the
page
farmer,
must do
24,
whatever
it
he
says,
wants.
to be eligible to
Ken
receive a
Temple.
distribution under a
Yeah, he's doing
subsection,
fine.
Yeah.
you must adopt a wheel tax and
Got him
provide
set
local
for a
technical
while
assistance
anyway.
program
Right.
at Purdue University with an
Aaron
updated
told me he
transportation.
got into
asset
fishing, he
management
likes to
plan.
fish.
That's
And
what he's in
then
Minnesota
number
last
two,
week.
Yeah,
you
that's
have
what
to
Aaron was
distribute
telling me a while
eligible
back
to
as I turned
receive
the bank.
a distribution
I said, we better
subdivision
throw that away.
must
Gotta make
be
some money first.
proportional
Yeah.
to local unit shares of total lane mileage. So there's a lot to it, just that you need to be able to get your money back.
Okay. The next
Yeah,
question.
they're doing fine.
Mhm.
Good.
What would Washington County put in?
Good.
That depends on the number of residents.
No, I hadn't seen him.
Find that on Gateway.
Again, I apologize for not catching the meeting with the commissioners. Sorry, it wasn't on the
Password to
schedule.
get on there.
We're all over the wheel tax.
Because it asked me, I gotta
That's
enter
what
my
we
password.
were here for, which, you
Yeah.
know,
But see, there's a free gateway too.
Rick did tell
Where
us
do I go to
that,
get a password?
which,
I think we
I
took
didn't wanna
over
say
here
anything, yeah, I
and
didn't wanna say anything.
the numbers down here
One
at the
thing that he
bottom.
didn't tell it
It
has
used to be,
changed
this is
the fact
different
that
than their old website.
community crossings in the past, like
You gotta
last year,
realize
we
that
got
many steps.
1.4, almost
That's the same.
1.5, well,
This
they
one.
capped that now at a million, so we know we're gonna be $400,000 that we didn't get, that we won't get for next year through that, because the most we can get to that. And
I'm
that's
not trying to put you on the
Oh,
spot.
no, you're fine.
But
You can create a new account right here.
Okay.
the,
So,
the,
Oh, yeah, they're good.
the new.
I like them better
tax
with
thing,
salt than some people.
you know,
what's your, what commissions
Just
do you want?
down the road,
Commissioners?
they are gonna enforce
This
our
is your
hand.
login, so you can create,
Community
Well, that's what
crossings.
we've been told several years.
Right, yeah, they've been saying this for a while,
You need to do that now.
yeah. Right.
so you go right here and
So it's,
create
the
new
main
account.
thing we want to
And
do
then you
yesterday
click on
was
this
just kind
and
of
you can put
plant
in
that
like
seed
your
that,
name.
Yes.
hey,
Yeah.
going
Can I
forward,
ask
this
you-
may be something.
Can you
we
look up
have
on there, is a city
Now,
of
right
Washington
now,
County would
We
contribute?
don't have to, so we're not
Right.
probably going to, but,
We might be able to see what they've done historically, but
With our
it's
job.
gonna change from year to year based on the tax dollars, because that's
yeah,
funded.
for the future.
You run out of options.
That's funded through Indiana Department of Revenue, so it's dependent on
Right.
state revenue tax
And,
local.
you know,
So they can
the
encourage you.
sustainability of it.
It might do
It's got to
24,
be able to
usually those are
sustain
kind of late
because
in
that's every year.
what they put in
You
there.
know, if you pass it now, it's good next year and the year after and the year after. So on down the line, that's the thing, and with the unknowns, it's just been kind of tough to do our job because they're not really making it clear, you know, what's gonna happen.
Well, that's what our tax guy said. He said, you just, there's
Yeah,
answering
that's what Aaron
questions
said,
right now.
yeah. Which supposedly, like Todd was saying, and, you know, Gary Byrne, these guys are saying they've got all the answers now, but
Are you setting them now?
I'm
it'd been
setting one
nice
up
to
for
have
myself,
one
yeah.
whenever
I thought you already had one.
before they,
I have one for
expect
my
us to do a
office
budget.
stuff, but I don't mix my office stuff with this.
then we'll figure it out, yeah.
Well, that's better.
Yeah. Well, that, yeah, a lot of them
If I put periods in all the way through there, that's all you've got, periods in it.
No, I just pick a password and then it doesn't show it.
Nancy Pelosi said one time.
She can show you how to get memory to work on your password. You know what?
Well, I mean, I was gonna say, I can copy her password just to get this periods.
Oh, yeah. Same way from home.
Yeah.
I've got that.
I didn't touch it.
And it won't show me my password on here.
How's your crops? Looking over near there.
They're okay.
Boy, beans are looking good around here. Rick Roberts told me yesterday he's seeing some turn.
As you're coming into town there by
That's what he said.
Jeans, their turn.
That's what Rick told me yesterday.
They were one of the ones that got them in before all the rain. They got them in early. All the ones around me were in. They didn't get them in till later.
Did you get much rain last night, Todd?
2/10.
I didn't look this morning. We got more wind.
Got a lot of wind. Yeah. I sure thought we were gonna get a good rain.
I was hoping.
I
It
know.
cooled down, I will say that.
Oh, yeah. It felt good. And it'll help. Just not very long.
Get just enough rain to keep the dust down.
Yeah.
Andrew, if I got your seat.
You take the insurance.
In my seat, I'm gonna be sitting down all day, so
Yeah.
might as well
That's
stand
for
up
the
right now.
enrollment for next year. Oh, okay. Well, at some point. Cheryl gave them to me this morning. Okay. She's trying to get everybody, so I told her I'd give all the counties.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know if this one was
Yeah,
yours.
no,
Okay.
That's
yours to fill out.
Might as well do it when I'm saying.
Yeah, you got some time. I give one to everybody else.
What's LTAP stand for? Local?
Yeah, it's local technical
Transportation.
assistance program, I think is what it's called. For transportation and something, I don't remember. Washington County. Why did it not? Okay. Be approved by an LTAP access agency information. You will not be able to access the agency, okay, they have to approve my request on here. So. I submitted.
What's the date?
It doesn't say, but I would say, I know last time I had it approval within like 3 or 4 hours. So it didn't take long. And I don't remember what my password is, cause my thing at my home, it has, like, our servers have like these firewall things, so it puts in like 15-letter passwords. And then we have to go through another website for it to upload the password to us, so I don't know
I
what my
couldn't get
password
this
is.
for it. I
So
could
that's
not-
another reason I didn't log into my other one, because I'm like, I don't know what it is. So, I don't have any of my passwords really memorized.
Okay.
Local Technical Assistance Program,
Okay,
yeah,
local tech,
yeah,
okay, well, we tried.
so. But I can look, if I find a report, I can email it to you.
Just send it, I don't
Yeah.
know what we contribute to the county,
Yeah,
but like you said, that's gonna change every year anyway.
yeah, cause it goes through.
But with SB one, you know, I'm in question about, if SB one takes away from, with our area, with taxation going away somehow, might not be fair to taking money away from the school systems
Yes, it will.
and everything else.
I figure they're gonna have something else they're gonna roll out, but what that is, I don't know. But yeah, if
Do they
everything-
know?
I don't think they have any until 27.
I think it-
Nobody knows. This is not a good place to be in this state right now.
Okay. Well, that's clear as mud.
Sorry, I mean, I don't
No,
know
I
either,
appreciate it.
because
Think I can give it to
I just
Michelle?
read this and I was like, I don't,
You can, or I
I'm
can
not
give
in
it
favor of
to-
this, because
To,
That's
this is,
Cheryl.
even when you go
Cheryl.
to Google it,
She she's
And we
been
do the
doing
AI
it.
thing that says, this is designed for Marion County and Indianapolis.
Yeah, Zach's been trying to get
It's
around
like,
to everybody.
okay, well then I'm not crazy, this is what I
It's increased quite a little bit there.
Because even Google AI is like, this is mainly beneficial, which I'm not gonna deny, the roads up there are terrible. There are parts of the
Pick if we can, as much as we can, as much as we feel like we can
10 years anyway to catch up.
do, because it did jump quite a little bit. Problem is, over the years,
Inflation going the way it
there
is.
was a time up here, and it hadn't been that long ago, where
Killed.
you could get fully insured for,
Behind.
And see, that's the whole thing with his
it was
charity.
a little bit of nothing, you know, cause the county almost paid for the whole thing. Which our cuts are pretty huge,
And
but
I'm like, good, because you need.
over $1 million.
Themselves like the interstates.
That's what it was when we
To me,
were
those are,
yeah.
might.
Didn't really need a duck when you had a kid, didn't really
Well,
cost you,
yeah,
you know.
it costs you shit.
Now, I mean, they got $3,000 duck when you're saying, you know, about the same money, just
Right.
the cost is just
The cost of insurance.
through the roof on
Well,
that.
it's like he said, he only had two companies that would even entertain it.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so it was either United Healthcare or Anthem,
Right.
one of the two.
Mhm.
And, you know, there were other companies
That's the
like
bad part about it.
Scio out of Columbus up here, which is local.
But if you don't watch
Hell, they
yourself,
wouldn't even quote.
Oh, I know.
He tried to get him to, and they were like, no, you're too much of a risk.
Yeah.
And
I
we've
mean, we
had
were-
some
We went to Florida.
sick
this past
people, and
year.
that hurt you, you
I was
know?
telling somebody else.
Yeah.
You
But
get south
I
of
know how it
Rainbow
was
Valley,
at Gil's Tractors,
Kentucky,
you know, ours was the
and
same
the
way, because
interstate
Stephen had quite a bit of health stuff.
like
We
we
had some
saw
other people that
tractor
had,
trailers with broken
and it
ends.
just, man, it just
Because
skyrockets your
of
Yeah,
college
that's
stuff
tonight,
with
right?
this.
Or
Yeah,
tomorrow.
it was terrible.
Thursday.
The minute you
But
crossed
It's
into
just surprising that they don't do some kind of good plan for us counties
And I
all
was
across the
like,
state.
well, that's what I don't
Okay.
understand.
All
Why
this
they
is-
can't all
I heard
get
it was
together.
either tomorrow. Because you would spread, you know, cause say Washington has a couple
Yeah,
of
when
cities.
Right.
And Orange County doesn't.
Yeah,
It would
if
be
you have
all
a
out
good
in
year,
that. Right.
you have all
it's
these
gonna
different
help
things
everybody.
that
You know,
you
I mentioned to Zach, and he goes, man, there's nothing that I know of, you know, where you could jump in, but that's not to say that maybe that's something in the future that couldn't happen.
Yeah.
Because the other all the counties are in the same boat, you know, as far as that goes. The cost of it's went up so much, and if you have to offer it, so.
The bigger your number, the offset.
Oh,
So
yeah.
if you just got a couple of stocks.
Yeah, that would definitely help if you have a bad year.
Right.
Health
I said, I
wise,
don't
then,
think they're
and
ever
if
gonna get done.
every other county doesn't have a bad year, it might not be quite as big a
It's always
increase.
under construction.
And I could even make some offerings
Yeah,
for everybody, you know.
Right.
If you wanted to do 1,000, if you wanted to do 3,000, you wanted to do
Yeah,
5,000.
you could give-
Yeah.
Oh,
Absolutely.
that's the thing.
well,
Yeah.
you know, some of
They're
the
looking
engineers
for
for those, they count it up. But the problem with that is
Well,
because
my
the
opinion is if
your-
it's, if
your
you
health
get
plan follows
two
a
buckets of grant money,
December to
okay,
January
and
schedule,
one
whereas
grant
your
money
enrollment
bucket is for
is
people who
September
do
to
wheel tax, and
September.
the other one's for
So
people
the
who
problem
don't.
is like,
I'm
right
gonna stay in the
now,
one that
if
doesn't,
you,
because of all
with
these
this new
people that are moving
enrollment,
over to
if
the
you
other one,
raise
you
the
only get
deductible,
so much money in this
say
bucket.
you're on there
And to
and
me, it
you've
seems like
already
you're gonna
hit
be
your
getting a little bit less.
and you raise it,
the
then
more
you're
people
gonna
that
have
go
to
into
hit
that
it
bucket. Like,
again
I'm just,
from September to December.
Yeah.
and I
So,
don't
you know,
think.
that wasn't really fair either. It
Yes,
just doesn't make any
exactly.
sense.
Enough is enough. I mean,
No.
2 taxes ago was enough was enough. I mean, I hate to
But yeah.
I know.
You buy a new
Health
vehicle, you get,
insurance
you have
as
to
a
pay
whole
sales
is
tax on
just
it.
a-
You sell it and you buy a
Man,
used
it's a
vehicle, you're
tough
paying
gig.
sales tax on it again.
really is.
And somebody else already paid on it when they
Yeah.
first bought it.
And insurance, I mean,
And then you have your
Hell,
excise
mom.
tax
Yeah.
on
Oh, it
it.
doesn't matter what you're
paying, your
you know, she
registration,
told me back several
tag
years,
for
and this
every
been
year
probably
that's supposed
10
to be
years
for the
ago,
road.
but all that
Mhm.
stuff is just
I
gonna
mean, you might as well say
skyrocket
the gas tax.
because of the claims and the
Lawsuits.
lawsuits.
And we pay a higher gas tax than other states.
No, it just,
And that was
it's
supposed to
a,
fund our
it's
roads.
a
So
hard
I have a hard time
road to hoe, really.
getting behind
Yeah.
Yeah,
the-
there's all these other things that are supposed to be done that's going towards the roads and they never change.
Well, they don't tell you what roads they
I
are.
believe Jackson's seen that for
No, no.
Jesus,
Yeah. Happens fast.
man, it does.
Mm-hmm.
been out taking laps up before now?
Yeah.
Getting your steps in?
Are you
Cleaning
can't,
her cigarette smoke in, so.
hey, you don't wanna walk with her, she'll kill you.
Getting as much secondhand as you can.
Yeah, I quit 9 years ago, so sometimes.
Still smells good, doesn't it?
Yeah, I take a cigar.
Next break, we'll do our walking the steps.
You want me to go with
Yeah,
you?
we'll walk the steps 4 times.
Do you have like oxygen on
Well, no.
supply?
Display.
You went, well, it's lift assist.
used
Yeah, I
to-
need a lift assist.
I
We
used to
can do
smoke
our walking.
cigars down at.
Hey, let's wait
remember
until the
that.
EMS is here.
I'd
in
hide
case I
smoke
go
them,
down,
and
then
Bubba
that
would
way
tell
they're
me.
here all
My
right.
wife would come in and she'd tell me, he was
Please don't kill Bubba. Please don't.
Oh.
Well, I'm built for comfort, not speed, so it's gonna be a slow walk.
I was telling Red, you guys used to tell on me for smoking cigarette, my wife come in. You guys-
I didn't tell on you, I never told on you. Now, I might make a, you know, kind of a smart comment about
Insinuation.
Swisher Sweet or something when Nada was in the building.
I'll have you all walking up and down the stairs.
Well, you might for one round. I come up them stairs, I clean pipes out every time I come up.
I think next year I'm cutting it down to 5 minutes.
Well, we've been able to.
Or
do-
each one of you.
But you know, it's like I was telling Todd, the good thing about it is.
Do we
or-
have
or-
to put an action, can we do like time ranges?
I
Would
mean-
that give us more?
I'm open to suggestions.
I was thinking that, I'm like, could we do it to time ranges and say, we have the following people within this time range?
Yeah, we need to somehow
We
correct this.
could, it
Or
seems
just don't
like,
put times.
yeah,
I've
Just
thought
leave-
about that.
And
seems
just
like the
leave it
last couple
open,
years.
because
Put an
that
order,
would be,
Put an order.
we've gotten
yeah, here's your
ahead.
order.
But
But-
if people from the public want to come for a certain thing, they
Yeah, but
would
I,
need to know some kind of range at least,
yeah,
right?
no, something to play with before next year's.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm open to suggestions from
I
anybody.
think the time range, like.
I think that's a
this.
good, I think that's a good idea.
And then put a note in there that says if we're running ahead, we'll
Anybody have a
move it
problem
up,
with
we'll
what to
move
do?
it up within 10 minutes or so, you know,
Ask.
or 15 minutes, but.
What? I didn't, I was daydreaming. Did you say something to me?
Yeah, how to fix the time problem too. Just here. You got
Oh.
that deal?
Well, what I do is I just leave it on, and then I'll go back into the YouTube channel.
No, he means like the schedule, how we're running ahead.
How we run ahead.
Oh, well, I don't even care. Whatever happens, happens, and I just write down the number on my thing when they appear, and, people can go in and click on the link and go directly to that part of the video. I used to go home and develop it and put it into sections, but just don't care. And so, and then I'll just put a list of who presented and stuff like that.
It just makes it harder for the people presenting too, though. I mean, cause like, when I was coming for the soil and water,
Mm-hmm.
you know, sometimes you'd be a half hour ahead and, you know,
right,
Yeah.
you just don't know.
you don't know when, yeah.
Well, most of the ones we went over so far they haven't had any real changes, so that, other
I
than,
think it's another, a nice compliment to our department heads. that
our
they're-
department heads have
they're
done a
ready-
great job,
ready for
yeah.
us, And they know that.
Well, and they don't wanna be on video.
Well,
They literally do not wanna be on video. And I understand that. But yeah, as far as like, you know, the only real reason to stick to the schedule is to have people wanting to be here specifically for that time
Right.
and actually say something.
And that's what we were,
Which,
yeah, that's what we were trying to figure out, how you do that for the public, for the presenters, for us to keep a good flow going, but
well, I mean, you know, I was the public, and I tried to say that they're incompetent, and I was shut down, which is fine, because I'm like mean, right? But, you know, they're not doing their job, and so why stick to the schedule? If you really don't want any input from the community.
Well, we just,
It wasn't that.
It's because
you
we're
know,
trying to do
trying to-
budget. I just,
We're here for a purpose.
yeah,
Well, yeah,
That's not the purpose.
That is a purpose. That is a purpose. If they're not functioning and they're wasting money, that's a problem.
yeah, we just weren't gonna discuss it during the budget part.
I went ahead and posted, you know, the stuff that I already have in my buffer,
And that's fine.
on that. Yeah,
There's nothing wrong with that.
which is fine.
It's just we were staying at task, I
I
guess.
know, I am aware. But yeah, so, I mean, as far as following you know, no one's really looked at the schedule until maybe now. But if you're, you know, not gonna have anybody in, you know, that's the only reason to have somebody here. I've got, I think the highest rate has been like 6 or 7 people watching it on my thing. So, a lot of times I'll get home from work and then actually just look at it then.
Right.
And I think a lot of people are just in the grocery store.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, you're
Yeah.
right.
yeah. I would do presentations on how to sell online and eBay and all of that kind of stuff. And I'd have maybe 2 people show up. But the next 2 weeks are always another match me and say, how do you do this? How do you do that?
Right.
And it's like, well, when I had all my notes with me, you could have showed up then.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's not how people play it.
They always ask you when you don't have everything you need.
Right, right. I remember Lana Sullivan used to keep little pieces of paper with her, and she would just write it down. And, management of chaos,
Yeah, herding cats.
her cats. Or just letting them run. either
Yeah,
way.
either way.
I still love it. Yeah. Yeah.
I did not tell yesterday. Okay. Got about 3 minutes, we'll wait for the sheriff's department to come back in. Looks like
No, it's tomorrow. It's tomorrow.
Gotcha. That's usually the biggest one.
still there right now, so.
What's the problem?
She took him to. They're still there right now. I'm trying to figure out what caused it.
I need a whistle or something.
Yeah, I got an air horn,
Do you?
yeah. You wanna hear it?
No.
Now,
It'll make
I don't know. Does
Hey.
it smell too?
every dog in the neighborhood will be barking. All right, it's 10:50. We will fire back up here with our budget hearings. We have the recorder scheduled. Terry? Want to come forward?
Oh, he left. He's standing down
And council and commissioners, recorder budget is page 15. Morning. Thank you for being patient.
No problem.
We got ahead of schedule, and with the recordings, we try to stay as close as we can. We're still ahead, which is a good thing. So Terry, if you wanna just go over your budget, tell us about it, we'll go from there.
Well, the only thing I'm asking for is an increase in pay for me and my employees,
What percentage did you,
5%.
5% is what you figured there?
Mhm.
Okay. Well, Terry's is pretty cut and dried, and she,
I have my perpetuation fund to operate off of.
right? So just 5% increases there to, her position, the processor and the preparer as well.
it's higher than that.
It's 10%.
It's actually 10 on there, it looks like.
Yeah.
It's showing 10%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, okay. Any questions for Terry on her?
How is your scanning process going?
We are getting, everything is pretty much scanned. It's just not all indexed yet. We've got like 83,000 deeds just indexed yet. And I'm
Oh,
getting
wow.
ready to incorporate through the vendor, group of people that actually go and they do this remotely. And it can really increase the time, you know, 'cause right now it's just us doing it in the office when we can. And these people do it and they can get it done a whole lot quicker. Of course, it's
So
not
do you
cheap.
need to budget for something like that in
I-
your budget?
Comes out of perpetuation fund.
Okay,
And I do have a scanning project that we're discussing with the vendor about getting, and I've asked Kyra about it, about getting the transfer books scanned in.
okay.
Some of those are kind of in rough shape, especially the older ones.
Yeah, the ones that were in the cellar
Yeah,
or whatever
the
you,
more-
yeah,
the more you
the
handle them,
basement.
the worse it gets.
Terry's at 83,000 from where to win.
Pardon?
What's the time frame on that? Of the 83,000?
I don't really have a time frame yet. We're just still in the, trying to see, you know, how many people we will have to work on it, because these people are,
He's wondering like the years of the records, like how many years of records is that 83,000?
Of those deeds. You said that was just
They're-
83,000 deeds.
It's from 1814, they are all imaged.
Okay.
They're just not indexed where you could type in the information that you write. And that will be, there's a group called Condor, and I used to work for them too. And I would index old records, the old handwriting records that you had to decipher like in other states to help them get their records more up to date and indexed. It's not a fast thing. You gotta really pay attention to detail. Everything has to be precise.
Is the record well up to where you can read them?
Yeah, yeah. But, you know, with less and less people doing they're not teaching the handwriting, you know, some of those are very difficult to read. Yeah.
Appreciate all your work.
Thank you. I love your job.
Okay.
I'm 64 years old, and you know, this job, working in this office, was my first job out of high school. Yep.
I don't want to discourage you, but it gets worse as you get older.
All right, any other questions for Terry?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Terry, for what you do. We appreciate it. Treasurer's office is up next. Nancy is here, so we'll move right into her budget on page 16.
Hello.
Morning.
All right, Nancy, what you got?
Mine's gonna be short and sweet like Terry's. I'm
That's
not
good.
asking
We
for
like
any
it.
increases. The increase you guys gave me from 24 to 25 took care of my equipment budget. So everything's still in line to be okay for this year and going forward for next year. The only thing I did ask for is increase in wages for all my staff, and I asked for a 6%. Now keep in mind, you know, health insurance just went up, and I'm hearing about that from my staff and different things, so there is some cost of living
Right.
increases.
So 6% for yours. Let's see, you have what, 4 full-time
I
there?
have 3 right now.
3 in
Or
your,
2 more besides myself, just 3
besides
now
you,
instead of
yes.
me.
Okay. All right. Yep, all the other line items have stayed the same from last year, so other than that increase of 6% she put in for her employees.
So the junior tax collections, that position's not filled?
It's open.
You're still trying to fill it, or is it required?
I'm not currently trying to fill it till probably we get closer to tax time, because right now we're a little bit slower, so there's no reason to have spending that money right now.
And we appreciate that. Any other questions for Nancy on her
You know,
budget?
I appreciate that information because that's good information we need to know. And I appreciate a lot of department heads probably wouldn't bring that out, but I appreciate you doing
Well, I will probably hire somebody before spring next year. I'm not planning on, you know, November's pretty slow. And one thing that's been going on with the way the economy is, we don't get as many checks in as we used to, which takes a lot of time to process, you know? And as the population dies out, because,
Yeah,
you know,
checks.
older people write checks, younger people pay online, so we're doing a lot of electronic payments and stuff, so.
She just called me old.
Well, we are old. I guess we are.
I'm serious.
You're right.
Younger people want to pay with their debit card.
Right.
you know, And they don't care how much the fee is. We should increase the fee
Yeah.
and get more on that back. And sometimes the post office is not very reliable, and
Yeah.
people know that, and they worry. Last year, I got 5 pieces of mail in October, postmarked May 10th.
Yep.
So I had to go take the penalties off, because it was actually postmarked, but I did not receive that until October. So
Wow.
It's a
that
lot.
happen all the time, but it is pretty consistent. Some interesting things happen.
Yeah, you can't count on the US mail. My mother got a Christmas card from my wife and I, the 1st of March.
Merry Christmas.
Yep.
You're late.
She just forgot about him.
Yeah. Anybody else got any questions for Nancy on the treasure budget? Pretty cut and dried. Thanks, Nancy.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right. Still well ahead of schedule, but we'll move right into the extension office. Ladies? Good morning, how are you? How are you this morning?
I'm pretty good.
Good.
It's my first time to be involved in a budget hearing.
Yeah,
Taking the fun.
yeah.
Good deal.
Join the fun. It's Sonny, correct? That's what I thought, but I want to make sure. I struggle with names. We were just talking about getting old. I've got names for just about everybody else up here, but might not be what they're.
They're not right.
You're not allowed to mention them.
Well, I can't talk about it. It's a public meeting. All right, Sonia, she'll go into the extension budget on page 17 in your books. So, Sonia, if you want to go over your budget, we'll go from there.
Well, as you can see, for the most part, on our line items, we have not asked for any decreases. We kept those the same. The only thing that has changed is salaries. And of course, Purdue extension, our salaries are determined up there in Lafayette, and that's the figure we were given, so that's what we submit. And there's a small increase for our office staff.
Gotcha.
That was a 4%, right?
4%.
Yes, sir.
And that was set by Purdue.
Right.
That is not set by Purdue. We do not have control over office staff salaries.
Okay.
It just matched what Purdue went up, is what you're, yes.
Right,
Right.
gotcha. Yeah, you can see all the line items there pretty much stayed the same, but besides the contracted service from Purdue.
Which would be our salaries, they
Right.
are extension educators.
Gotcha. Any questions for Sonia on page 17 budget?
Sonia, do you see anything coming down the pike that might alter your budget mechanism here?
If I only had a crystal ball.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, these are changing times, a lot of things are different. You know that Purdue Extension is funded by federal, state, and local funds, so who knows what next year brings. All I can do is go with what I have before me today. And I know that probably in the upcoming year in 2027, we'll probably have to look at more creative ways to meet our needs for funding. I know in our office, you know, we're trying to seek more grant support, which is what I've been able to do a lot more for my community through that, and we'll continue to look for those opportunities as well. Sometimes those involve, you know, some support for our salaries.
No other questions, thank you.
Any other questions for Sonia? Thank you, Sonia. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right.
I said, oh Lord, what just walked?
Oh, my.
I know.
I didn't know we were gonna be graced with his presence.
I'll say about you someday.
Probably already do. All right, next up on our list here, the weed board will continue on. If you guys wanna come forward.
Morning.
Page 18 in your book. council and commissioners.
You turn that down a little.
Yeah, you too. Especially this one in the middle over here, you know. Everybody gets it from all sides there.
Thought there was somebody behind me.
Well, this is just our, kind of giving an update where we're at with the weed board. Of course, we're dealing with noxious weeds and invasive species within our county and stuff. And we've been trying to be judicial with our money that we receive from you, and we appreciate that. 2023, we purchased 307.5 gallons of across Buccaneer, across roads. In 2024, we purchased 265 gallons of chemicals, some crossbow and glyphosate and Buccaneer. But we also, we had some reserve left over from the year before. We put on 3 40-gallon sprayers on the highway foreman's trucks, so that while they're around scouting around, they could see something, they could go ahead and spray it. That has been very beneficial in that process. I hope you have seen that. Now, this year has been challenging because it's kept on raining,
Yep.
and weeds keep growing and stuff. So there's been 2 or 3 passes as far as, you know, spraying some areas of weeds that have come up. So our budget's no different than what it's been in the last couple of years. We try to purchase some chemicals in the fall for the next year to have them in storage. We can get a little bit of a discount, get a little bit bigger bang for our buck. One thing I do want to bring up to you, we have met with Jeff Quayle, Radius, on these rails for trails, and we've been really concerned about what the maintenance is going to be on those rails for trails. We hate, and ultimately I've been in your seats before, a lot of times things like that are good, end up being in the lap of the county, you know, as far as maintenance. The purchase on that, those, the rails for trails are actually classified as private property of Radius. So by definition, the weed board, we are actually over top as far as making sure that that's done, if you want to do it in the legalities. Now, take it up to legal counsel and stuff, but if we do that, we've got 27.5 miles of trails within this county. And the whole scope of the thing is 63.5 acres if you want to take the whole thing in there, which is actually, the whole trail is 565 acres of maintenance that's got to be done. They got a budget of $200,000 for maintenance of those rails for trails per year, but there are 2 full-time salaries paid out of that $200,000. Now, I'm not real smart, but they're not going to be able to do that. And there's a lot of these trails that haven't been developed right so far. And I've kind of viewed some of them. They're a mess already. And they're only going to get worse. I have a sister who lives in Toledo, Ohio, and I saw almost 20 miles of tracks, 3 wide, with abandoned trains on tracks, with trees growing out through the middle of the cars. We could very well end up with a jungle in there, and then somebody might just go up there and says, so that's the way it is in there. The trouble is, we try to keep noxious weeds and invasive species down on private property, and we send out letters for them to do. Now, who do we send it to for Radius if they start missing out on their maintenance? And they're relying on grants and private funding to come in to fund them. They've already run out of money right now to construct, the rest of the paths they got. So in between South Tillow and, Leipzig that I know is not development, it looks like a wilderness already. You know, and I'm just doing it in my particular area. I haven't looked in other places. The cities like Campbellsburg and Salem are already getting enough that they haven't been really told what they're gonna have to or what they're expected to do. Even for the little restroom facilities here by the tracks that we cross, you know, going to Kentucky Fried Chicken. Jeff Quayle said there's gonna be electronic locks on those at a particular set of time that just lock those bathrooms. Now this is a different subject than weed, but these are things that you're gonna have to be looking at in the future. The contractor that put those up there, he said all there are key locks, that's it. And so I guarantee you that there's gonna be a lot of vandalism and who's gonna clean those. So, all good ideas sometimes miss all of as far as the keep operating cost in there. So, I'm saying that could very well end up in the laps of the county.
Let me ask you something, David. What'd you say you bought in Roundup?
We bought 307 gallons of Crossbow and Buccaneer, which is generic Roundup. That was in 2023, and in 2024, we had carryover from that year where you only purchased 265.
With what I'm seeing, where we're spraying on the side of the road, right behind it, and I come through Trailer Lane the other day. A county had sprayed right beside, but right behind it, maybe it's like 8 and 9 foot if you drive the whole Trailer Lane, right behind it.
Yes.
And the farmer itself, I don't know if we're not mixing our chemicals right, but the chemical don't seem to be working that long. It's not, maybe I've got misunderstanding.
Well, if you don't kill the rhizome, in which Johnson grass is a very hardy grass in there, you can kill the upper plant, but the rhizomes can stay alive and spring up in other places.
And Phil, neither one of these have any residual.
No.
They're just pure contact, so it's gonna kill what's there, but if it keeps raining, other weeds are gonna keep coming up.
Well, we didn't used to have the poison hemlock that Jerry Roberts came in and talked to us about 10 years ago, and said it was taken over. But I've noticed that poison hemlock, we're now starting getting in our area in southern Washington County.
Plants have a survival resistance mode in there, and as you spray chemical, and you'll see in even the fields in there that there's weeds that are dead or the same type of plant, but some that it doesn't kill. That's a resistance that's been built up into their own system.
So it's a stronger chemical.
Yet development.
The only reason I'm saying this, you've got time, so I'm gonna talk. But that's what I'm asking. It doesn't seem.
Once you get a new chemical to combat that, it builds resistance again.
Yeah.
That's just the defense mechanism of plants and Mother Nature.
Well, used to, I didn't have Canadian thistles, and now I'm getting Canadian thistles.
Those are pollinators.
Yeah. Well, weeds, ever since Adam and Eve, after all that happened, you know, we got weeds.
Preacher talks about that once in a
Yeah.
while.
So back to your rails to trails, did Mr. Quile come to you guys asking for help on spraying the trail?
No, we asked him to come to our meeting. And we were just trying to understand what was going on with with their funding and maintenance, because we've been talking about this ever since before the first tracks were pulled in there, what the implications could be as far as keeping the operational part of those in there. There's a lot of different things. You've got public safety, we got we got places that are in remote places in there, say that there's an accident in there, and the guys already got problems with who's got the right of way on those right of the trails and stuff. I mean, there's a whole gamut of things
Yeah.
that we're gonna find out.
Well, bridges is one of my biggest concerns, where CSX used to take care of it, we had a blockage, we could call them, and normally within 2 hours, they had a crane out there doing it.
That's not gonna happen.
Yeah, I know.
From what I understood, they've just recently hired the trail manager, and they don't have a mode of transportation for her to even access the trails to spray. And like David said, they're out of budget for this year, so the Johnson grass especially is not gonna,
The DNR owns hundreds, if not thousands, of side-by-sides.
correct, but she's an
This
employee
initiated
of Radius.
with the DNR. This started with the DNR.
And that's what we said, and he said that DNR is not helping whatsoever.
Well, there's two verbiages that have been used. It depends on which way they want to talk, okay? They talk that it's for the public good, you know, as far as in this, and kind of being public access, but then they talk as it being private land. So those two things are way mechanisms out of having to take care of some things either way.
Seems like that should have been determined before we started constructing this.
You mean a plan?
A plan should have been put in place for that before they started constructing this.
Kay Whitehead, it's around Muncie, Indiana. In the 1990s, I sat on a board with her, state board in there, and she warned us of this, you know, coming in that's already done. So if we want to find without having to reinvent the wheel, I think that we really need to talk to county governments about what has and has not happened correctly and incorrectly in counties like around Muncie. But they've been in place for almost 25, 30 years up there.
Well, you can legally hire someone to spray and send the state the bill.
But it's private land.
You have to vote on that.
You do that anyway, don't you?
Well, we do, we put it, we'll take care of it, yes.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's the reason, this $14,000 budget, get ready. If you're gonna start doing that.
Well, you gotta assume you're gonna get reimbursed, right?
Yeah. I'll do that with a smile.
Thank you.
And they're nonprofit, so
Yeah.
do they pay property tax?
No.
To put a lien on? So then if they don't pay the bill, that would be the next step, was to put a lien on their property taxes, which they don't pay.
Sounds like you need some more serious conversations with Mr. Jeff Quile.
Well, he said we were probably the most courteous group that he talked.
Yeah, I heard you still weren't too nice.
I tried.
It seems to me like this should have been designated as park ground. If they
Well,
wanted,
I
if the
agree.
state, if the state wanted this, they should have designated it as park ground.
I agree with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not-
But
Yeah,
that
it's taken
one-
us this long just to find out who to actually talk to. Like David said, we've been looking, trying to be in contact with someone to find out what the plan was.
Well, the fact that they don't know, I'm just gonna say it, I wouldn't use those future restrooms out there for any amount of money whatsoever. I mean, they're never gonna be clean, and they're gonna be absolutely disgusting, and they're probably not gonna have enough people to maintain them the entire time, so it's just gonna become this huge vandalized eyesore within the city.
I had
That's my
father-in-law. I
worry.
had father-in-law work for the Parks and Recreation in there, in the little park that's up there by Doc Apple's old office in there. He was either putting a toilet or a urinal or a lavatory in there once a week, in there So, I'm the bearer of great news.
No, you never had that.
But, no, I don't envy your job, and Aaron, just want to give you a fair warning. You know, probably what will be coming down the pike. So, I mean, some people will use them for exercise, recreational, that's all fine and stuff, but there's a lot more implications in there, so. All right.
All right, well, thank you, guys. Anybody else have any questions?
David, when you figure that acreage, how wide are you figuring off the,
The easement's 60 feet wide,
okay. All right,
30 feet from the middle of the tracks each way.
okay, thank you.
All right?
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right. No. All right, we got a few minutes here. Coroner scheduled at 11:40. So, got a few minutes here. Haven't seen her yet. That'll be on page 19, so that's where we'll go here before we take a lunch break. Once she makes it here, so.
It won't slam. Come on in.
Good morning, Shonda. We're good, how are you? All right, Shonda's here from the coroner's office to go over her budget. We'll let her go down through her list on page 19 in your book, once again, page 19.
I pretty much kept everything the same as last year. The increase on our autopsy budget has helped, so, we went through about half of that this year, and we're halfway through the year, so it seems to be right on track. I did request a 5% salary increase for my top 3 positions, and the reserve, which is what I pay my contracted, my contracted employees out of. The main thing, and I got that to Michelle yesterday, is I'm requesting a new vehicle. And I know I've talked to you guys every year about it. But it's becoming a serious issue. So I know that the price is not probably what you guys want to give me, and I'm working on grants. I've been working with Denny and Powski on that. There's just not any open currently for that type of vehicle, but it's actually becoming a health hazard to continue to transport in the Durango that I have. So.
What year's the vehicle you have now?
Do what?
Do you know what year the vehicle is you have now?
So 17 or 18, I think. I have to look, Michelle, do you know for sure? I can't. I would have to look at the paperwork. It used to be the old Chase vehicle when Nick Oleg was the director of EMS. It was his vehicle. It has a lot of miles on it, and it's just not, doesn't run properly. And the size is also becoming an issue. Like, what?
Nothing. Go ahead. Wait. You talking about that truck?
The Durango.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a 16, isn't it?
I was thinking it was a 17, but I'm not for sure.
I think it's a 16. It's pretty bad.
It's really bad, actually. It's actually broke down on us a couple times while transporting, so that's also becoming a whole separate issue, but the size of it is actually also, you know, people in this culture tend to be larger these days. And I don't have the room to fit them in there to transfer them back to my holding facility. So then I have to call a removal company, which is an expense that we shouldn't have to have. So that's kind of what we got with that. And pickup trucks just seem to be more what I would consider sanitary. We've been doing a lot of transports these days that involve decomp, drugs, bugs.
Is that what you're referring to for the
The
health hazard?
Yes.
Okay.
Because there's literally nothing separating us. And the platform is plywood. And if any of that gets on the plywood, we get in there and scrub it, but you can't get that out of plywood. You just can't. So that's, you know, we still have to ride in that to get to the scenes, and it's not pleasant.
How many times have you used a removal company this year?
This year, I have not used one. Not gonna win, but we're only halfway. But last year I did use one 3 times.
What's that roughly cost?
Anywhere from $250 to $400. Depending on where they have to transport them to.
Right. Where do you have that listed in your budget? In case that comes up.
It is not.
It's not?
It's not, I take it out of the office budget.
Okay.
How often do you transport it?
I'm sorry, what?
How often do you transport it, you know?
Probably at least 80% of the time.
80% of the time, well, like one a day,
I
2 a
would
day?
call, I mean, I can't tell you one a day because it's not.
Right, I know,
but,
just on an average.
I mean, probably at least 6 a month.
6 a month.
Sometimes more, sometimes less. It's not really a job that is
Do what?
scheduled. I said sometimes more, sometimes less.
Yeah, just an average.
It's not scheduled, so, yeah. Because I do roughly between 100 and 125 calls a year.
Okay,
So-
that,
And we're at, let's see, it's now August, and we're at 62 calls for the year, so.
So this outfitting on the truck, is this the cover that goes over the back so you're not driving around with a body
Right, it's a topper.
exposed?
That
Okay.
also includes lights, because I have to have the lights, like a police vehicle, and my radio, and the lettering.
So is this top something that you can remove and just run it through a car wash if you had to, or is it something
It's
that
an
you?
actual cartel topper,
Okay.
that has storage on both sides to put my bags, my gloves, any supplies that I take to a scene. It will hold all of that.
And it's all metal so you can spray it out?
Yep.
Okay.
What I don't have a quote for yet, which I'm still working on, because our local, like the rep that would come to our county, he is no longer with Stryker. So I kept calling, and instead of them telling me he wasn't with Stryker, they were just putting me off. My cot is a Stryker cot, and they actually have a unit that will go in the bed and help put my cot into the bed of the truck. Similar to what the ambulance service uses, but not quite as fancy, if you may. But I do have a large electric cot, battery powered cot, that goes in the back of the Durango, and I want to keep that cot and use it in the pickup truck.
I was gonna say, that's one I think they got several years back on a grant,
Yes.
or through the art money or something.
Yes.
The lift, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
They've had it since before I was.
Do you usually use all the money from the autopsy lab transport cost, 45,000? It looks like you still got like 31,105.
Yes, we're about halfway through the year. In the previous years, I had to request an increase towards the end of the year because I did not have the funding to cover the autopsies. So in '24, I had requested it to be moved up to 45 so that I didn't have to come to the end of the year begging for more funds. So it's very hit or miss. But all drug overdoses now require an autopsy for court purposes. So I have done a lot more. I've done 11 autopsies this year. So,
What's the cost of that?
anywhere between 2 and 2,500, 2,000, 2,500.
Yeah, they about doubled.
That's my autopsy. Dr. Bill Ralston out of Louisville.
Is it cold or something?
He does.
Yes.
But I don't use that.
Lengthwise. Well, because of the separation.
Is there a state? Why are we doing so many autopsies? Hey, we didn't used to do that. I'm just asking.
Well, there's a lot of people who don't go to the doctor like they should anymore. So if I don't have medical records to back up, my findings, then I can't positively determine the cause of death. Also, drug overdoses, to be able to prosecute a seller, they require an autopsy because they won't recognize just a toxicology report.
Okay.
So.
Standard 8-foot bed sufficient to handle what
It has to be a long bed.
8 foot.
So it's my cot in it.
Now, there are some vehicles out there, I don't know how the Durango worked for you, but there are some enclosed SUVs that are larger and more spacious than a Durango. I didn't know if something like that could even be considered. If it was a bigger unit, yet, more space for you. I'm struggling to find out exactly what could work for you.
Right. Most apartments are going to the pickup trucks for the separation due to smell and, just being submitted to that type of environment. And because it's easier to clean. Like I've looked at vans, I've looked at like a larger SUV. They just don't have that. Sorry, I'm not finding the right word. Just not the separation that I'm looking for.
A lot of the vans have that separation. They have a metal wall that separates the driver.
The vans that I've looked at, my concern also is getting that van out to where I sometimes have to go. Sometimes I have to go in the woods. Sometimes I have to go out into a crop field. I've taken that Durango a couple places that I probably shouldn't have went. But you gotta do what you gotta do. So also my thinking with the area that we live in, a 4-wheel drive pickup truck would be beneficial.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions for Shonda on her budget? Just a 5% increase there for our employees, and then, of course, the vehicle request. Anybody else have anything?
Talking to Mike.
Oh, sorry. What, you couldn't hear me?
Well,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't want Bubba to die, so I haven't divided mine, right? But
Usually
yeah,
I'm
if
loud
you
enough.
bring the microphone closer.
It's lighting up. I'm lighting. I don't want to get it too close.
Keep getting there.
You want it right?
Yeah, right there, right on top.
There you
Yes!
Rhonda.
Did I hear you say this one, you don't have this vehicle in your budget?
No, I just was able to get the quote, I had sent it to
Oh.
Michelle, was it
Okay.
yesterday or earlier, yeah, so.
Yeah, she give all the council has a copy of that.
Yeah, I got one. So what line item would you, if you do this, would we add a line item for payment or debt service, or how would you do that? Are you planning, would you plan on making payments for?
I'll be honest with you, Todd, I don't know the exact procedure for purchasing a vehicle.
Oh, okay.
Through the county. I'm using what was there when I took office, so this is new ground for me.
I understand.
That's fine. You're okay.
All right. That's all I need. Thank you.
You just get the one bid.
I'm sorry, what?
You just get one bid.
Just one. Yeah, here in town, to try to stay local. I had reached out to Gilstraps, just to see, because I didn't know if a Ford would be a cheaper way to go. They didn't really seem to have what I was looking for. And I had even spoke with Tim Wolf and John Jones about a used vehicle. He couldn't guarantee me pricing on it because it's as, what they have in stock.
Of course.
So, he just quoted me for a brand new.
Thank you.
Any other questions? If not, thank you. If we need anything else, we'll be in touch with you.
All right, thanks so much.
Thank
If anyone
you,
wants to do a
Sean.
ride along with me to see how it is in Durango, you're welcome to.
Pass.
I'm good. I'll take your word for it.
Thank you.
I'll get in touch with you.
Yeah. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you.
Kind of called her bluff there, didn't she?
Yeah.
I think that was aimed at you. Or Phil. It was for Phil.
What's going on? Tell you what, you and Bubba is just like,
That's right.
That's okay. I'll take that as a compliment.
They're related.
They're really.
All right, well, I guess we're to, our lunch break time. Did you have, Michelle, the veterans?
I had him, but he had to change,
Was he scheduled at 11:50?
yeah, he was scheduled at 11:50, but he had an appointment.
So he had to change to
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Is it tomorrow?
Yeah, 11:20 tomorrow, I
Okay,
think
yeah.
you put on there, okay. I just wanted to make sure we weren't skipping him if we went ahead and skipped out for lunch.
Yeah, no, he has appointments, so.
We break for lunch or should?
That's up to you. I mean, you got 20 minutes. If you wanna talk for 20 minutes, you can talk.
And we got a few minutes, if you wanna go over maybe some of the things that we've been over this morning with some of the departments. If there's any questions, or if you wanna have further discussion on any of those items that were brought up there, or this vehicle, or,
We probably ought to talk about this vehicle because
yeah,
she's on borrowed time. If I remember right,
that thing's a 12, if I
I think
remember
it's
right.
got 200,000 miles on it.
It's a 2012.
They've still got that old Explorer out there.
Yeah, but it's junk. It's,
Oh, I know.
it's probably worse than the
It's
Durango.
probably worth, it might be worth $1,500.
If you put the two of them together, you'd have a good wreck.
Put the two of them together, you got about $3,000.
If that. Might be worth scrapping. You know, I see where she's coming from on that, and, you know, I know they had an incident, last year where, it was kind of a mess, and without being morbid, a lot of that fluid, whatever you wanna call it, leaked out in there.
It's about different.
I know, but you wanted to talk about it, so
It
we're
was
gonna
bad.
talk about it, but it's, yeah, it's a bad situation for them. And like she said, I think I agree with her on the separation part. Whether we buy a new vehicle or not
Well, that's
is
fine.
a question I have.
That's a question I have too,
To be
haul lots.
honest, I just, you know, I hate spending $64,000 of taxpayer money.
That's still plus the.
Yeah, you still got some of the upfit there. You know,
I was gonna say the custom upfit takes it to 64, so.
yeah,
Yeah, but she said that it didn't have the.
it didn't have the striker.
Yeah,
Yeah, bed thing.
that can't be that much more, I wouldn't think.
Well, the strikers are expensive, we know, we ran into that through.
And run $3,000 to $5,000
Yeah,
easy.
I would think probably a bit of it.
Well, she just wants to track the system to get it in the bed.
Yes.
She doesn't actually want the bed.
Right.
Yeah, she's got the lift already, it's just that she has to.
Right, but you know, my personal feelings are, you know, I'm entertaining something half that much money, that's just a lot of money to tie up.
I think maybe there's a few creative ideas she could come, maybe shop around on autopsies, maybe save a little bit of money there.
Yeah,
Different
I
doctors,
don't know why she switched doctors, 'cause I know it's been 2 years ago, but Dr. Jacoby was
Cheaper.
he was only charging $1,600, I believe. And I don't know what, I guess that's her decision as a department head, but on the other hand,
Right.
I don't know.
But you gotta look at it like, help us, help you, you know?
Well, I hate to keep throwing her in what I would call a hand-me-down vehicle, because we're gonna be in the same situation, you know, 2 or 3 years down the road if we just keep throwing her something that we've used in other departments, but I do feel like, just from being around the car business, that, you know, we can, for half that much money, we could get a pretty doggone nice vehicle, in my opinion, but that's my opinion. I don't know what everybody else thinks about it.
I would agree.
Well, everybody knows how conservative I am when it comes to money, but if you're gonna haul a body around, I don't think they're really interested in it being a new vehicle, you know. The taxpayer, we gotta answer to the taxpayer. The taxpayer's gonna say, how come you gotta have a new vehicle for that purpose?
Because the guy in the back, he won't care.
He ain't gonna care. You know. As long as it does the job, as long as the vehicle does the job, this is all we're looking for. And that's all she's looking for too.
Well, maybe you ought to appoint a committee to check around for used vehicles.
What I understand, what's the 20,000 in upfitting?
That's too much.
It's a lot.
That's
too much.
I'll just call it
That's-
spade a spade.
If
It's
we're
a
just
lot.
talking about a camper shell on top.
That's too
And
much.
some shelving.
And lights.
And lights.
Wiring,
That's where the,
Radio.
that's where they make the profit.
That's
that's
where
where
the
the profit's at.
That's where the profit is.
Yeah. Been down there. It's too much.
Skunk, what do they call that?
Thank you. That's
No,
all.
I agree with a lot.
I think if you look about half that and then cut that up fit about half, you'd have a pretty reasonable situation.
These trucks? Maybe like.
Yeah, there could be an off-lease situation. You know, there's a lot of options there.
So what you said, get us prices on some different trucks.
Mason, it's been, or two guys that's been in the car business for a long time.
I don't care. I'm in.
We can work on that.
We'll work on it.
I don't
I'll do some
mind,
research.
working on that a little bit. I mean, I can tell you that you can get a pretty nice, you know, truck like she's talking about. The only issue I would see with that is the availability of long bed
Single cab.
trucks are.
It's a special order.
It's a special order now. Used to, everything was a long bed.
Yeah,
Now everybody wants the shorter bed.
they want a school bus.
So, you know, to find a used long bed truck sometimes it's hard because there's just not that many of them made new, so that limits your use. But there are some out there. You know, it's just something you'd have to do some searching for.
I'll work on it. I don't know.
Or we can see what a lease would cost.
Lease is an option. The only problem is you know, if this is something, no doubt we're gonna need for years to come, you know, lease wise, you know, average lease probably on a truck like that, a new truck lease, you know, you're probably looking at $400 or $500 a month.
It'd be like making a payment.
Yep.
I was
So
talking more about finding a lease truck and turn back.
that come off a lease, yes,
Yeah,
an off a lease.
I'm not saying buy new.
Right,
but
understand.
Some of them turn back in. There's gotta be one out there somewhere.
There again, your biggest problem with that would be the long bed part of it.
Oh, they're out there.
They're out there.
There's a few. Well, we can look into that, and see what we can find out.
You'd be a good one. I mean, you know vehicles. Once you look around.
Gerald said he's
I
not.
said I will look at it.
We'll take a look
I'll
at it.
research it.
We'll work together on
Yeah.
Be nice.
Is that Dodge with them fancy wheels sitting down there on the square? Is that an 8-foot bed?
it. It is not, it's a short bed.
You reckon?
Yeah,
What's an offer yet?
I like the price of it a lot better than I do that one. I'll tell you what, I'll take half for the Dodge if you just wanna buy it right now.
You couldn't afford the wheels you got.
Yeah, whatever.
Here's one right here in Indianapolis, $16,000.
There you
They're
go.
out there. They're out
There you go.
60,000.
Sure, no doubt.
60,000 miles.
Four-wheel drive regular cab, 8-foot bed.
Yes, sir.
What year?
2016?
Perfect.
Yeah, I think something like that
We'll
would
do some
be,
research on
would be a lot better fit and also do what she needs it to do. And put her in a lot better position than she is now with the Durango.
It's four-wheel drive, yep.
They're out there, it's just finding them.
It's nice on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
They took good care of it, whoever had it.
So we'll work on that. Well, if there's nothing further, we'll break for lunch. We'll see everyone back here at 1:30, so plenty of time.
You can get your steps in.
Get your steps
You're
in.
in Michelle. Doing the stairs, right?
All right, we'll see everyone back at 1:30.